Welcome back. Let's continue with one of our top stories when it comes to the strike in the government's ICT sector. And of course, for more on this, we're now joined by Tlali Tlali, who is the head of Cooperative Affairs at SITA. And he joins us for more on this conversation. Tlali Tlali, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Of course, your workers are indeed on strike. They are demanding a 7.5% wage increase. They've rejected your demands. Why won't you adhere to their increase of a 7.5%? Why are you only offering 5%?
Good evening, Bali, and good evening to the viewers out there. Thank you for the opportunity. It was not an easy decision for us to arrive to a point where we presented the latest offer to labor union in the form of a 5% wage increase, which is an improved and a final offer. You will appreciate that all of us, meaning SITA as the employer and labor union, moved from our original positions, demonstrating flexibility and willingness to be persuaded by reason on the basis of the factors that both parties have conceded to. It became possible to move to a 5%. However, if we were to accede to the current demand in the form of a 7.5% wage increase, that could lead to a situation where SITA would run a risk of having to consider laying off staff in the near future, because the decision that we have made is based on two considerations. One, the issue of affordability, whether or not there is money and we are able to sponsor this. Two, whether or not in the long run we should be able to sustain the increased wage bill. And based on the exercise that we have conducted, we have arrived at a decision that it is not going to serve the interest of both the employers and the company, but beyond that, of South Africans, if we were to accede to the demand that has been presented to us in the terms that they have and given the prevailing economic climate. These are the factors that we have communicated to the employees as well as the labor union. However, we can indicate at this stage that we have since this afternoon received a notification and invitation by labor to a special bargaining forum meeting, which will take place tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, where we hope they will be able to come to the party with a different view for us to consider other options available to us.
And Mr. Tlali, you speak of, SITA being very flexible. The workers say they have been also very flexible. They've moved from their 12% demands and they are now on 7.5%. You also moved at least 3 times. And they are saying that they want an inflation-based increase. And they are saying at least meet them halfway. Are you willing to meet them halfway? They are saying at least closer to 7.5.
That is exactly what we have done. We have moved closer, and we can indicate that based on our information, the current inflation is at 4.5%, and what the SITA is offering is even above that. This is an indication that we have moved a step closer. However, what we are also doing is to find a middle path and to employ a balancing act, where on the one hand, we take into account the legitimate concerns of the employees, where we are responding to issues that affect their livelihood. However, on the other hand, we have to look at the interest of the company, where we are able to continue to operate, we are relevant, we are efficient, and we are able to grow in order to employ more people, because state-owned entities have the responsibility, in addition to discharging their mandate in terms of their founding legislation, but to respond to other obligations to which they are enjoined by government. All these factors have to be taken into account and avoid a situation where we take a single or a narrow view that is looking at the present day demands without looking into the future.
And Mr. Tlali, are you not concerned in terms of, where if you might not meet each other halfway here and this strike action continues? I mean, the services of, these employees is quite crucial for the country. They provide services to the likes of Home Affairs, SASSA. Not just so long ago, SASSA was struggling to pay, their beneficiaries. Are you not concerned of the ramifications should you not find each other and the services that will not be rendered by your employees?
The onset of an industrial action in any employment environment represents a low key or a low moment. And we are not happy with what is happening at the moment at SITA, because historically we have had a very cordial relationship with the labor union, where we have been operating on the basis of not only mutual respect, but on the basis of a shared vision insofar as the implementation of the mandate of the company is concerned, appreciating the fact that the responsibility that SITA carries as an ICT back-end office that enables government to deliver services means a lot to ordinary people on the ground. So the point that we are making here is that we need to approach to get into the negotiating table with open minds in order to ensure that the strike action, the industrial action that is currently at play is not going to be a protracted one. We are able to safeguard the interests of all of us and not of some. In this instance, we are saying that we have demonstrated that the flexibility, that the reasonableness, hence we have improved our offers over time. However, to the extent that the issues of industrial action relate to the provisioning of services, SITA would like to assure its customers and members of the public that we have implemented contingency measures, and these measures have proven to be effective at the level of ensuring that we are able to continue to service government. And as a result, there has not been any failure of our services to government that are occasioned by the current industrial action that is at play at SITA.
Mr. Tlali, thank you so much for your time and good luck on those negotiations tomorrow. That is Tlali Tlali. He is the head of corporate affairs at SITA. They, of course, they say that they have a meeting tomorrow with the unions, and they are only offering 5% when it comes to the offer on the table for their employees. But the employees are still demanding that 7.5% increase.